Good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing? Okay, let me see who all are here. Fun ready as usual. Okay, good evening. Hitesh, Siddharth. Oh, yes, I've been too waiting for the batch, the last chapter, Siddharth. Simran, Annie, Meghna. अच्छा बन रेडी दोबारा भी गुड ओके नीलाब्जो पूजा कार्तिक ओके missed you. Missed you. Okay, fine. I too missed being with you. I'm doing good, Janisha. Thank you. Hope the same for you people. When Reddy is eating samosa. Wow, cool. Must be having that kind of weather over there in Hyderabad, right, Ben Reddy? Okay, okay, fine. So what's up? कैसा रहा अब तक का सफर? How has it been? You have reached the last station, the terminal of your subject audit, chapter 13. How has it been the journey till now, covering 12 chapters of audit? Chapter 1, basics, 2, basics, 3, basics, 4th, risk assessment and internal control, 5th, fraud, 6th, audit in an automated environment, the whole world of technology, IT, coupled with audit, 7th, sampling, 8th, analytical procedures, 9th, audit of items of financial statements, 10th, switching to the companies, the company audit, 11th, the audit report, 12th, the bank audit, and finally the last station, the terminal station of your journey, audit of special entities, different kinds of entities. So learn the basics of audit. Okay, Shriram. Siddharth feels that audit is really a very responsible and tedious job. It is. It is. Nilabjo, definitely. Why not? We will definitely clear it. But please, can you preserve it for the last session that is due on 26th? Okay. We'll keep half an hour separate individual after clearing our, after covering our chapter 13, after we finish with chapter 13, we'll keep half an hour for any kind of doubts you people have from the whole subject audit, any kind of doubts. Whatever you feel that you want to discuss, you want to know about, or you want to, you need to know, half an hour we'll keep with for every, any kind, any chapter, any topic, anything. We'll keep it separately. Right, Nilabjun? Sarthak, you do. Okay, okay, okay. चलिए सबसे पहले what do I want to tell you is when you start reading audit, right? The sequence is very important. Just don't pick any random chapter and start studying it, right? As a faculty, or I have experience, I have studied it in all one sequence. So as a faculty, I can pick any chapter. But as a student, you have gone through it once only. And even for the second time as well, for the third time as well, just follow a proper sequence. Whatever time you have decided to give to any chapter or any topic, stick to it. It is completely your comfort. It is completely subjective. But I want to what is more important I want to tell you is that follow a proper sequence. See how beautifully your index has been sequenced. First three chapters, you learn about the basics of audit, what is audit, standards on auditing, then the principles, then quality controls, then audit evidence, audit documentation, audit program, materiality, everything, whatever basics you need to know, like the ABC, what you do in your the primary classes. That is it, the rules. Then you read upon certain matters. Then you come out of audit, and now you read from the point of view of the company, client, organization, like risk assessment, internal controls. That is your fourth chapter. Now you come out of the basics to scale level up to risk assessment, internal control. Then you have done a good job. You have been through a tedious chapter, a tedious topic, risk assessment, internal control. Now some small topics like fraud related, a miscellaneous topic. Then automated environment, but a specific kind of topic, a particular scenario. Then you do audit sampling, and then your analytical procedures, all the tools and techniques in the form of chapters. Now you are all geared up to apply the basic knowledge of audit you have gathered during the first three chapters, about the entity in the fourth chapter, and other tools and techniques in chapters 5 to 8 to apply them on an organization in chapter 9. In chapter 9, you take up each element and apply whatever you have learned in the previous 8 chapters. You get references of audit sampling, you get references of analytical procedures, you get references of fraud, you get references of audit documentation, audit evidence. Whatever rules you learned till chapter 8, you apply them all in chapter 9. It's a big chapter. It's a milestone chapter in your journey in audit. It is that chapter where your train halts for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 1 hour. Then you have applied it on a normal organization. Then we go to company audit. Or we have covered companies as well in chapter 9. Then company audit specifically, chapter 10. Chapter 11, specific provisions with respect to the audit of companies, the procedures, pre-audit procedures, during the audit, post-audit procedures, and then the audit report formats and all. Another milestone in your journey of audit, then your 12th chapter, audit of banks, a completely different scenario, completely different. You have to apply all the basics of audit, right? All the basics of audit, and then a completely different scenario, bank audit. Finally, when you have reached your terminal station, it is audit of various other kinds of entities. So whatever kinds of audit an auditor performs, a chartered accountant performs in day-to-day life of different kinds of entities, clients, that is what is covered in this chapter. Whatever we have learned till chapter 11, or I would precisely say till chapter 9, we have to apply it in this chapter. Different kinds of entities, sole proprietor, partnership, LLPs, clubs, hotels, cinema halls, educational institution, schools, colleges, charitable institutions, hospitals, cooperative societies, government organizations, non-government organizations, your local bodies, municipal organizations, municipal corporations. So we'll be applying all those principles in the audit of these organizations. Whatever story I told you, this was all to just build the ground for chapter 30. And make sure you follow a proper sequence while revising audit again. Okay? Chali. No Nilavjo, and not backward. NBFCs when ready, you will do in your CA finals. A complete chapter on audit of NBFCs. तुम्हारी ये इच्छा वहां पूरी होगी. Nilabjo sequence should be like, I would say 2 revisions, you should go in sequence as per the index. Just divide the time you want to give to each chapter as per your level of understanding. Third revision or fourth revision you can be, or even if whatever number of revisions you follow, 1, 2, 3, as per your capacity, as per your stamina. The second or the third revision, you could be choosy. You can be choose random chapters. But if it is a second, you are doing it for the second time after the classes. No, you are studying it, learning it along with the classes. The second time you pick it up, follow the same sequence as per your index. The third time you pick up, just check your level of understanding, self-introspection. If it is good, if you feel that you'll not be making khichdi and all that, jumbled up all the chapters, then you can pick any chapter. But if you feel that you still need to do a lot to prevent from making that khichdi, you should follow sequence. Okay? Right. Okay. So shall we start, or anyone else has to say something before we start with the chapter? Anybody has to say something, some specific requirement which I should take care of? Anything, please go ahead with it. Great. So let us start with our chapter 13. I hope you can all see my screen. Okay. Just a second. Right. Now we are good. So what are our topics? We can see the topics. Sole trader, partnership firm, charitable institution, NGOs, educational institution, hospital, club, cinema, hotel, hire purchase, LLPs, cooperative societies, NPOs. Right? We'll start with the most basic, and then we will proceed further with the complex topics, from simple to complex. Okay, so as you can all see on your screen, be it any kind of entity, there are some common points which we can use in all the audit of all those entities. What are these points? Major points that must be kept in mind while performing the audit of all these types of institution, and there is an etc as well. So you can see where you can fit the common points, but make sure the common points don't carry all the marks. If the common points are common, they carry common marks only. So to get good marks, you have to write specific points as well. This is just to help you to build a ground for your answer. What would be the first point? Could be, when I'm going to audit any kind of entity, I have to check its constitution. Constitution means whether it is a proprietor, it is a partnership firm, it is an LLP, it is a company, it is a trust, hotel, cinema hall. Constitution, the one you have read about the persons in your income tax as well. So where do you check the constitution? Obviously, there is a deed. There must be a document, constitution document, like partnership deed in the case of partnership, LLP agreement in the case of LLPs, limited liability partnerships, the memorandum of association, AOAs in the case of companies, the trust deed in the case of trusts. So you have to examine the constitution of the organization, then the bylaws and regulations or trust deed. Bylaws and regulations means what are the various policies framed by that particular organization for their working, like the AOA in the case of a company. Examine the powers of the members of the management and other officers, normal point, and the minute books. You all know about the minute books. Whatever proceedings, important meetings take place in that kind of organization, the crux is written in the minutes book. Evaluating the internal control system in the organization, then their accounting policies and accounting records to be checked, the various receipts and kind of expenses, chapter 9, income expenditure and assets and liabilities. So this is basically your starting stage, and here basically which come to the chapter 9. Okay, I'll share it. Meghna. Okay, so now you people have to tell me, I am a proprietor and I have appointed you as my auditor. So as an auditor, how you check my books of account? So I am a proprietor. That's me. Hello. So I've appointed you as my auditor. So what are the points? You have read audit, 12 chapters. Just give me the points. On the basis of whatever you have read till now, how will you audit my books of account? What will you check? What will you ask of me? Apart from the audit fee, okay? Audit fee is, okay, it's fine, presumed. I am giving you the audit fee. What other things you will, double entry. Yes, Hitesh, the business. What business am I into? Trading, manufacturing, service industry. Good, Hitesh, good. Himanshu, we usually follow double entry only. Single entry, बहुत पुरानी बात. It's quite old. Like there are certain organizations, government organizations which follow single entry till now. But yes, serial nature of business. Good Nilabjo accounting policies. Siddharth says valid receipt. Siddharth is quite fast, huh? सीधा receipt से पहुंच गया. हाँ भाई, कहाँ से receipts आ रही है? Whatever income you are getting, I want to check that. Underlying bills, invoices, internal control. Internal controls, good point, Hitesh. Internal controls, good point. But in the case of a proprietor, usually the internal controls are set and executed by he or she himself or herself. PAN 10, GST registration, books of accounts. Okay, good, Karthik, good. Expenses. Oh, good, Hazel. Type of finances, legal structure. Very good. Type of finance. What is his capital? Has he borrowed any amount from his relatives or bank? Good. About branches, if he is any branch, right? This is a topic of only one page. I'm just building your ground. Okay. So that you apply the same concept in every kind of organization. Good, good. Good, Nilabjo. Sales should match with the GST returns. Huh? Nice, nice. Contracts and agreements with customers and vendors. Very good, Purnima. Yes, Bandreddy, your answers are reaching. Segments and all. Related parties. Very good point, Pooja. Related parties. Legal compliances. Very good, Bandreddy. Yes, yes. Borrowing, Smitha. Very good, very good, very good, guys. Very good. Right. Good. So in the case of a sole proprietor, he he appoints the auditor. Auditor is appointed by him, and there is no separation between ownership and management. He's the owner, he's managing. She's the owner, she's managing, whatever it be. Okay. Okay, okay. I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied with your answers. You may stop now. You may stop now. Right? Okay, let's move ahead. So, a sole trader is under no legal obligation to have his account audited. So, he's under no legal obligation to get the accounts audited. There is no separate law for sole proprietors to get the accounts audited. Okay, the first one. But he may get his financial statements audited due to regulatory requirements, such as brokers, or if the bank wants for approval of loans. How do we know that whatever profits you have shown us, you are actually making those profits? You'll be able to repay our loan as well as the interest cost out of the profits you'll be making with the business you want the loan for. So get them audited by a chartered accountant so that we can get that assurance that yes, whatever you have shown us, the books, the profits, you are actually making those profits. Now, when it says a sole trader is under no legal obligation, it means that there is no specific act for sole traders. There could be other legal requirements under other acts like the Income Tax Act. Even if it is a sole proprietor, if the conditions which the Income Tax Act lays to get the tax audits done, the word is tax audit. Under the Income Tax Act, tax audit is considered done. And if the sole proprietor falls under the eligible category, he has to get his accounts audited. Be clear with that. So auditors of sole proprietor shall be appointed by the sole proprietor himself, right? Then sole proprietor himself determine the scope of the audit, terms and conditions in consultation with the auditor. Now, it is desirable that the contract of appointment of auditor in such a case should be in writing and should clearly define the scope of work. Desirable means it is not mandatory, it is desirable. Acha hai, it is good if it is in writing. If the appointment of the auditor is not in writing, the auditor should write to his client explaining the scope of his duties. If you do not get into a written agreement, the auditor should write to his client, the proprietor, that this is what I feel my audit would cover. This would be my limitations. and it is upon you. How do you cover up those limitations? Well, I'll be asking you these questions. I'll be requiring this and that. If it is not given to me, then I'll not be able to cover this much part. The last point says in the case of change of auditor from year to year, you get the accounts audited every year or for a period if you are getting it done voluntarily. It would be duty of incoming auditor. Incoming auditor means the new auditor which the sole proprietor has appointed to communicate with the previous auditor that this particular person has requested me to audit his books of accounts. I want to ask you if you do whether you have any professional objection or not, whether your fee is pending or whether you want to tell me something, whatever it be. So it is a duty of the incoming auditor, the new auditor, to communicate with the previous auditor. No, Nilabju, it's actually voluntary. But if it is like under any act, like the Income Tax Act, or you used to have GST audit as well, the act lays down the scope. I am a person, I'm not like, I don't have to get my accounts audited under the income tax. I'm not required to get them audited under any other law. But I approach a bank for a loan. The bank says we need audited statements, audited financial statements. I'll approach a chartered accountant. I'll ask for it that whether you can audit my financial statements. I want it for the bank purpose, loan purpose. Not required under any act, just for the bank loan purpose. So the scope may differ. How will the scope differ? Just because now it is not required under any law. I'll have to see the general accounting principles and policies. On the basis of that, I'll audit and I'll give my report, which you'll be reading about in your CA finals. What kind of report would you be issuing? In such cases, there are compilations, there are review procedures, different other kinds of assignments apart from audit. So they all carry different kinds of report formats. So you'll be reading about them, SA 800 series, you'll be reading about them in your CA finals. Okay. Good evening, Rahul. Fine. So let's move ahead. Okay. Partnership firm. So what about partnership? Yes. Sole proprietor को हम bye bye बोलते हैं, and you have to tell me about partners. Now give me the points with respect to a partnership. Come on. I want everyone to participate. We are building the base from simple to complex so that your concepts start getting cleared, even if there is any confusion with each entity we cover. Point for partnership. A, B, C. Right? C always used to retire or die in our partnership questions. No, Hiral, it is not mandatory. Hitesh, there is no concept of a partial audit. Very good, very good. All the future auditors, the first point you will see is the read the partnership deed. Hiral, so that there is no confusion between them. When the auditor completes the audit, That the sole proprietor says, I wanted you to do this thing, and auditor says you didn't tell me. So in case if they do, they haven't agreed verbally over something, the auditor should write. Otherwise, it is completely fine. The words written, it is desirable. Oh my God, Karthik, you are an IT guy. Okay. Will not make C die or retire today. Will not make him die or retire today. Okay. Will take up A now. Good, 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 good. So partnership did will tell us about the capitals, the objective of business. Okay. Then the salary, interest, profits. Then what else? If there are any branches or something, etc. Duration of partnership. Very good, Karthik. Very good point. Very good point. In India, the registration of partnership firms with the ROF, Registrar of Firms, is optional. Unlike in the case of companies, you'll have to get it registered. If you're forming a company, you'll have to get it registered with the MCA. But in the case of firms, it is optional to get it registered with the Registrar of Firms. You all have read about the benefits of registration and the limitations of non-registration. I'll not get into that. Okay, but it is optional. So Karthik, very good point raised. You need to check whether the firm has the partners have got the firm registered with the registrar or not. So how can you check it? There is form registration certificate. Okay. Shri Ram, very good point. Again, very good point, Shri Ram. Very good, guys. Partnership Act. So as I told you, there is no act governing sole proprietors. Here we are, partners governed by the Partnership Act. So you'll have to take care of the provisions of the Partnership Act as well. अरे कार्तिक वेट विल कम टू एलएलपी अभी एलएलपी अगला टॉपिक है हितेश तुम लोग एलएलपी पे पहुंच गए गुड 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 okay fine let us see how many points you all covered award yourselves marks on the basis of that whatever points you have told me just award yourself marks on the basis of that and let's see who gets how many marks. So in the case of a partnership firm, first thing we cover is the appointment of the auditors. So auditor is usually appointed by the partners, either on the basis of a decision taken by them or to comply with the condition in the partnership agreement. They'll write it in the partnership agreement that this particular partner or the partners mutually would appoint an auditor every year to get the books of account audited. Their remuneration is also fixed by the partners. This fact of appointing an auditor, getting the books audited, may be written in the partnership deed. Remuneration and all, this is nothing to be written in the partnership deed. It is not required. Then they lay out a letter of appointment. That letter of appointment should clearly state the nature, what kind of audit, for tax purposes, for your loan purposes, what kind of audit it is, and the scope of audit, what the auditor is required or to do. If it is under some legal compliance, for example, income tax, then the auditor knows what is his scope. There would be only limitations now what the auditee, the client, would place upon the auditor's scope. If it is under some law, auditor has read that law, auditor knows what is his scope. Okay. Then in case of change of auditor, duty of incoming auditor to communicate with previous auditor. The auditor may particularly ensure application of accounting standards prescribed by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. In case the firm is required to get its accounts audited under the requirements of an institute. I gave you the example, Income Tax Act. The auditor will have to qualify the report in case of non-compliance with the accounting standards. Alternatively, only disclosure of non-compliance with the accounting standard will be sufficient without making it subject matter of qualification. This differs from case to case. You have read about clean reports, adverse reports, qualified reports, disclaimer of opinion. I suppose you have read about these kinds of reports. For example, when do you qualify a report? So you might have read in PGBP, Profits and Gains of Business or Profession. There is this topic in PGBP, if I'm not wrong, section 40B of book profits. Okay. So what does it say? It says, as per Income Tax Act, I'm just giving you an example of non-compliance. As per Income Tax Act, the partners may draw or interest. Okay, let us with interest, not salary. Let us go with interest. The partners may get interest on their capital not greater than 12%. Fine, not greater than 12%. Whether beginning of the month, end of the month, running balance, whatever it be. If any partner is getting interest at more than this rate, the auditor would qualify it. Or give it as a disclosure that this is something which is against the law. Depends upon case to case. So this is what this point means to say, that if in particular, if there is non-compliance with any of the statute provisions, the auditor will have to qualify, or disclosure of such non-compliance with accounting standards or the law would have to be given. Okay. Matters to be considered before starting audit: the name and style under which the business is being conducted, partnership deed, padlo. Duration of the partnership, if it is agreed upon, partnership deed will tell us. Amount of capital, partnership deed, whether it is fixed, floating, whatever it is. The period at the end of which the accounts of the partnership will be closed periodically, and the profit sharing ratio, obviously, partnership deed, right? So do you people know that profit sharing ratio doesn't mean it is a loss sharing ratio as well? Hiral, that depends upon case to case. You'll read about it in your CA finals. In what cases you should give non-disclosure, disclosure of non-compliance, and in what cases you qualify. Karthik, AS requirement is there. What would you audit then? You'll audit the accrual concept thing. You'll audit what the expenses are proper or not, whether there aren't any fictitious receipts or not. On what basis would you check? On the basis of accounting standards only. it is assumed, it is presumed that you will be auditing the sole proprietor on the basis of AS only. Good. Many of the people know that it is not necessary to share the profit and loss in the same amount. You may decide a different ratio for sharing of losses. Just keep in mind, you need to know this. Many of the people, students don't know this. They assume that whatever be the profit sharing ratio, it is the loss sharing ratio. And sometimes the profit and loss sharing ratios are different. So you'll have to take care of that. And if there is any confusion, you should ask your client. Is it the same for profit and the loss? Provision regarding maintenance of books. Who is authorized to maintain the books? In what form the books are maintained, physically, in electronic form, in a software, and at what place the books would be maintained. Have you decided for the creation of reserves, provisions, etc.? Because reserves, provisions, we have worked on them in our accounting, but in practical life, partnerships usually it is unlikely that they make reserves and provisions. Borrowing capacity of the partnership, like what amount can the authorized partner borrow on behalf of the partnership firm? What is the upper limit? Have they decided it? Have they written it in their partnership deed? The rate of interest. So the maximum is 12% as per the Income Tax Act, and as per the Partnership Act, it is 12% as well. So what is the rate of interest which is being given to the partners on the loans given by them, on the capitals they have invested, or being charged from them on the loans they have taken from the firm? Whether any remuneration is payable to the partners, on what basis, and what withdrawals are permitted for the partners, duties of the partners. Very important point, the 10th point. Who shall operate the bank account of the firm? One partner, two partners, three partners, mutually all the partners. How will the surplus funds or the profits would be divided? Limitations and restrictions on the auditor's work. Okay. Very good, Prabhas. Right point. Partnership Act only mandates sharing of profits and not of losses. And Hitesh says when there is nothing written about partnership in deed, then it is to be distributed in their capital account. Very good. If nothing told in profit sharing ratio. These are the points of the Partnership Act. If nothing written in the partnership deed, then in their capital contribution ratio. Okay, yes, Ben Reddy, very good. Whether there is a minor partner or not. So what are the advantages of getting the audit done of a partnership firm? In the case of disputes, for example, a dispute crops up between the partners relating to some accounts or anything, and they want to rely upon certain documents. A will bring his books, B will bring his books, C will bring his books. I maintained these books, I maintained this. As per me, this should be the copy of account. As per me, this should be the expense. So whom to believe? In that case, will believe the audited accounts. Will not believe what A says, will not believe what B says or C says, will believe the audited accounts. So audited accounts provide a convenient and reliable means of settling accounts between the partners. That the books, the statements which have been audited, the profits audited are the final figures. There is no revision, scope of revision in that. Thereby, the possibility of occurrence of a dispute among them is mitigated. On this consideration, it is usually provided in and accepted by the partners. It shall be binding upon them unless some manifest error is brought into light with a specified period subsequent to the accounts having been signed. Subsequent events, AS4. If there is anything important, some big error which was there in the accounts and which the auditor agrees to, that is something which is an exceptional case. Otherwise, the partners will have to rely upon the audited accounts to settle their disputes. So, in the case of dissolution, when A dies or retires, then you prepare the accounts, you get them audited, and whatever amounts is due to or from the respective partner in the case of retirement, or his legal representatives in the case of death, the share of capital, profits, and goodwill that are decided on the basis of audited accounts. Reliability, obviously, audited statements of accounts are relied upon by the banks while advancing loans. Purchasers of the business as an evidence of the profitability of the concern, and it also tells about its financial position. When a person, a deep, wants to get admitted into the business of the partnership, so how do you determine the share of goodwill he has to bring in? How to negotiate with him? On the basis of audited accounts of past 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, we have done. On the basis of 5 years purchase of goodwill. On the basis of 3 years purchase of goodwill. So how do you calculate that goodwill? Where do you take the figures from? These audited sets. Control. An audit is an effective safeguard against any undue advantage being taken by a working partner. His salary was fixed at 10,000 per month. He is withdrawing salary of 20,000 per month without the knowledge of other partners. He is spending upon his personal expenses out of partnership's funds, and the other partners don't know about it. When the auditor catches this, if it is the fear of the audit that prevents these kinds of petty thefts or these kinds of misappropriations from occurring. Yes, Sriram, yes. While filing income tax return, the auditor gets qualifies it in the tax audit report. There is a specific column for that. Puja, auditor will ask for the books of accounts maintained. This is a situation where they come up with their own. The auditor will decide on the basis of books of accounts, the accounting principles. Nilabja, I'm not able to understand your question. As per the SC test of partnership agency, which should be the partners have same capacities in case of bank account. It is no. It is just a mutual agreement between them. Same capacities. It is not like the same capacity. Agency test is something which partners represent partnership and partnership represents partners. This is something which is kind of an administrative work that one partner, two partner, three partner, they authorize him. Within their capacity, the other partners authorize the working partner or the authorized partner that you maintain books or you operate bank account on the behalf of partnership firm. Special points in the audit of a partnership firm, what are they? Appointment of auditor, the partners. The auditor will check the partnership deed. It should be signed by all the partners, and if registered, you should also check the registration certificate. Minutes book relating to the partnership, meetings, then objects of the partnership, which business it is, where are they doing this business, in one city, two city, the address, the books of accounts, who is maintaining it, the mutual interest. That what is mutual interest? Mutual interest is the auditor has to verify that the interest of no partners has suffered prejudicially. Prejudicially means at the cost of others by an activity engaged in by the partnership which it was not authorized to do under the partnership deed or by violation of a provision in the partnership agreement. Their mutual interest should be maintained. The work the deeds of the partnership, the work of the partnership should not affect any partner individually. If the partnership is working against the objects laid out in the partnership deed, which is affecting the one of the partners or one or more of the partners individually, the auditor has to take care that their mutual interest is not affected. There will not be the case, Pooja. Each partner will not have its books of accounts. It is just they'll be doubting whatever books of accounts will be there. They'll be doubting. They'll not come up with their books of accounts individually. I just gave an example relating to some expense or account of income. The books of accounts are only one. Okay? That was just an example. Then whether they have made tax provisions or not, and the division of profits is in the agreed profit sharing ratio. So these are the special points you have to take care of in the audit of a partnership firm. The question would be asked, what special points should an auditor consider in the audit of a partnership firm? So these are those special points. Okay? Fine. Anything in the partnership? You can come up with it if anything in the partnership you want to ask. Chali. So now what happened was there was this partnership. The management and ownership against the same. There was unlimited liability. I hope you people know about this. The partners would contribute in the case of insolvency, in the case of partnership, right? There was no concept of separate legal entity. Although they would represent in fiduciary capacity. Fiduciary is, as someone said, as the agents of each other. Partnership meant partners, partners meant partnership. Although legally they have different set of PAN, income tax PAN, they have different set of PAN, but they would have this concept, separate legal entity. They have different set, but the management and the ownership is almost the same. The main disadvantage was this: unlimited liability. They'll come to your home. You'll have to give every single penny you have to compensate for the loss suffered by the partnership firm. Even partners' individual assets are at stake. Okay, here I'll come to that. Now, another form of doing business was company, where this concept was there. Management and ownership different. Management by board of directors, ownership of shareholders. So the person owning the business and the person managing the business are different. Okay. There was the advantage of limited liability. What is the liability of a shareholder in the case of a company, in the case of winding up of the company? Can anybody tell me? Yes, Himanshu says, sir, corporate veil. The corporate veil. Veil means parda. Yes, Siddharth, very good. Very good. Up to the face value, right? So you have a 10 rupee share, my liability is limited up to 10 rupees, depending upon the number of shares I have. In this case, they'll not come to each shareholder's home and whatever you have, give us the refrigerator, the sofa, the furniture, we'll sell it and make good or loss. No. What would they do? They'll ask for the money, whatever is unpaid on face value, whatever is unpaid. That is a liability. Further, you may lose this amount, whatever you have paid further. They'll ask for the unpaid first, and then, if required, you can lose this amount. Your investment, but not your personal assets. Now, a need was good, good, good. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows this. Okay. So now, what was the need? They required a certain kind of organization which has the benefit of limited liability of a company. The benefit of limited liability of a company, but the advantage of having the management and ownership in the same hands. Right? They wanted to control the business as well, but they wanted to have limited liability as well. So their combination was given a new form by the name of LLP. Limited Liability Partnership, a new kind of constitution or organization. Limited Liability Partnership, which has the features of partnership as well as the features of company. So partnership coupled with company, some features of partnership, some features of company, obviously the good features, and you get a new kind of organization, LLP, which is known by the name of Limited Liability Partnership. This concept was brought up in the year 2008-9. Okay. Chali. Let's move. How do you audit an LLP? What are the distinctive features of an LLP? LLP is an alternative corporate business form that gives the benefits of limited liability of a company and the flexibility of a partnership. A limited liability partnership, popularly known as LLP, combines the advantages of both the company and partnership into a single form of organization. It is governed by the LLP Act of 2008, which came into force with effect from April 1, 2009. The Indian Partnership Act 1932 is not applicable to LLP. Keep that in mind for the purpose of your correct incorrect questions. The provisions of the Indian Partnership Act are not applicable to LLPs. The provisions of only LLP Act are applicable. It is a body corporate and a legal entity separate from its partners, having perpetual succession, can own assets in its name, sue and be sued. All the features of a company. Further, the partners have the right to manage the business directly, unlike corporate shareholders. The benefits of a partnership. One partner is not responsible or liable for another partner's misconduct or negligence. Limitation of partnership covered. What was in partnership? All the partners are responsible for their acts towards each other or towards outside persons. In this case, the partners are not mutually responsible. An LLP needs to have minimum 2 partners and for maximum no limit. The rights and duties of partners in an LLP will be governed by the agreement known as the LLP agreement. And the partners are flexible to devise the agreement as per their choice. The duties and obligations of the designated partners shall be as provided in the law. So there is a difference case. The case is of designated partner. There is a partner and then there is a designated partner. Like in the case of company, there is director and then there is chairman of the board of directors, there is additional director, there is alternate director. In the same way, here it is a person. Like in the case of companies, you have managing director. In the case of partnerships, you have managing partner, working partner. In this case, here we have designated partners. Designated means they have been designated by all the partners to carry out the work of the LLP or any other authorities they could give upon them. The government would always address or communicate with the designated partners. All the important documents and forms would carry the names and signatures of the designated partners. Okay? At least 2 partners should be designated partners who will be under an obligation to obtain the DPIN, designated partner identification number. Now, do you know what a DIN is? Reply me. Do you know what a DIN is? DIN? Come on. What is a DIN? Do you people know? You might have read about it in the company audit or not. Director identification number. I think I've covered this point, but still I cannot recall whether I have covered this point or not. So there is this person who is a director in a company as well as a designated partner in an LLP. Okay. And both LLPs and companies, they are being regulated by MCA, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Whatever forms you have to file, whatever information you require, whatever forms, whatever permissions you need to case, uploading anything, all the regulatory work and compliance work is covered by under the MCA, Ministry of Corporate and Corporate Affairs, for companies as well as LLP. On their website only you have to do all this work related to LLPs and companies, the filing of forms, payment of fees, everything. So DIN is particularly a number, specific unique number issued to persons as an identity number with MCA. My question to you is, if I have a DIN, I am already a director in a company, and I also become a designated partner in a newly opened LLP, both covered under MCA. So do I require to keep one DIN and one DPIN, or only one DIN that will suffice the purpose for the LLP as well? What is your take on this? What is your take on this? If I am already a director, I have a DIN with me, a unique identity number I have with me, director identification number. And now I become a designated partner in an LLP as well. And the MCA wants that all the designated partners should obtain DPIN, designated partner identification number. So should I apply for a DPIN, or the DIN will suffice the purpose for the case of LLP as well? Himanshu says both. Hitesh says only one DIN. Hiral says only one of them. Nilabjo says both. Charu says both. Charu says two. Shakti Villain says both. Hiral says DIN is sufficient. Prabhas says DPIN also required. Whatever Karthik has said, Karthik, you are right. Bandari is separate. Hitesh says apply for DPIN. Smita says applied for DPIN. Okay. Now, if I am a designated partner in an LLP, I have a DPIN, and I become a director in a company afterwards, do I need to apply for DIN? I am already having a DPIN. Do I need to apply for a DIN? Shriram says one is sufficient. Janisha says DPIN required. Meghna says DPIN required. Now I have reversed the case. I am a present designated partner in an LLP. Do I require a DIN as well if I become a director in a company? Yes, Shakti Villain, possible. Okay. Fine. Fine, people, fine. Let me clear this. This is MCA, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. We have to register on this website. There are different registrations available for companies and for consultants. Consultants are chartered accountants, company secretaries, and different registrations for companies. Okay, so you have a user ID password, you just punch it in and then you can log in into it. Now it is one body, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. It is regulating both LLP and companies. Like income tax, we have PAN. GST, we have the GST number. Under MCA, every person is given an identity. For companies, it is DIN. For LLPs, it is DPIN. Here I am. And I am both a director in a company and a designated partner in LLP. So do I require both or one? This was the question. Since the parent body is one, which is regulating, the number has been issued to me as a unique identity by which this body can register me in its database. Don't you think if the same person will have two identities in the database, it would be quite complex? MCA says we have given you a unique identity. LLP भी हमारी है, कंपनी भी हमारी है. So why do you need two unique numbers? How will they remain unique? How will your identity be unique? If we issue you two numbers, two identity numbers. And why do we even need to do that? So it says, whether you have already been issued a DIN or a DPIN, whatever you have been issued, whether a DIN or DPIN, if you get involved in other segment, use the same. If you have a DPIN and you become a director in a company, use the same in the case of company as well. If you have a DIN and you become a designated partner in a LLP, use the same DIN for LLP as well. You do not need to apply for a DPIN or a DIN, whatever be the case. Yes, Himanshu, like MCA be like company or LLP हमारे ही बच्चे हैं, don't worry. बिल्कुल, exactly. It is like a surname, right? It is like a surname. So they both are siblings. So they both require only one number, only one surname, whether it be DIN, whether it be DPIN. Okay, I hope the concept is clear. Everyone? Okay, good. So now let us move ahead. Rules regarding accounts, audit and features. An LLP shall be under obligation to maintain annual accounts reflecting true and fair view of its state of affairs. As per LLP Act, they are required to maintain books of accounts, which shall contain particulars of all money, sums of all money received and expended by the LLP, income expenditure, capital withdrawals by the partners, a record of assets and liabilities of the LLP, statement of cost of goods purchased, inventories, the profit and loss, any other particulars which the partners may decide. Right? Now, very, very important point. Two very important points. Returns. An LLP has to file a statement of accounts and its insolvency in Form 8. You have to learn this. What is the form? Form 8. What is the statement? Statement of accounts and solvency. Now you will tell me this Form 8 shall be filed on which website? At which website you will file this Form 8? Come on. I'm going to ask you every question. I'll be raising doubts. Now you'll have to answer. A statement of accounts and solvency, the LLPs are required to file. We shall see for what purpose this is. We shall see what should be its frequency. But you need to tell me on what website would they be filing this form? Yes. MCA, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. So statement of accounts and solvency in form number 8. Form number 8 would be available over there on MCA. That shall be filed by every LLP with the registrar every year. So it says It is an annual compliance within a period of 30 days from the end of 6 months of the financial year to which the statement of account and solvency relates. It contains a liabilities and statement. It contains a declaration on the state of solvency of the LLP, how strong, financially strong the LLP is. By the designated partners, they'll declare, and they'll also give a statement of the assets and liabilities and income and expenditure of the LLP. So what is basically a statement of accounts and solvency? The attachments would be the balance sheet and the profit and loss, the financial statements. They'll tell about the state of solvency, state of assets and liabilities, and state of income and expenditure. So what is the timeline? The timeline is okay. What is the timeline? March 31st. My accounting year ends on 31st March. Now 6 months. April, May, June, July, August, September. 6 months end on 30th of September. Within 30 days of 6 months. 6 months from date of closing, date of 6 months ending. Now 30 days of this date, before 30th October, within this time period, I have to file my form number 8. Okay. Karthik, are you sure? 31st October, it doesn't lay out the month time. It is not saying 1 month. It is saying within 30 days. Be informed about this. It says within 30 days. It is okay. October has given you 30 days. October has given you 31 days, but not MCA. MCA says within 30 days. अब एस्टेरिस्क के साथ सही कर रहा है उसको. Okay. Now the next, every LLP would be required to file annual return in Form 11 with ROC within 60 days of close of financial year, which will be available for public inspection and payment of prescribed fees to the registrar. Annual return. What will the annual return contain? The annual return will contain everything, each and every detail of the LLP. Who are the partners? Who are the designated partners? What was the profit made this year? What was the turnover? How many meetings were convened? On what dates meetings were convened? Who chaired the meeting? Any resolutions passed during the year? Any admission or retirement of partners from the LLP? Each and everything, like it's like the whatever happened in the LLP during the previous year. It will give everything in that form. That is called the annual return in Form 11. And the time period is 60 days. Okay, now tell me about this. The 60 days. Yes, Bandreddy, you are right. After 9 days, all LLPs start filing. Now, what about 60 days? Anyone? Now, 60 days, that is 31 December. Now 60 days from this date and not the 30th October date. 60 days. So what would be the date then? Very good. Oi, Himanshu, 30th May? Are you sure, Himanshu, 30th May? Are you sure, Karthik, 29th November? Tell me. Are Himanshu, you need not be sorry. What have you read? You might be right. What have you read? You might be right. It could be 30th May, it could be 29th November, it could be 31st December. That is why I have made that timeline. I've written 31st December, I have written 60 days. This is what is the most confusion with every person. A person who knows about the filing of companies' returns, they always get confused with the deadlines for LLP. That is why I'm making that timeline and I'm going to rectify it. Sarthak, good. Charu, good. Okay, let us read what it says. Let us read what it says. Every LLP would be required to file annual return in Form 11 with ROC within 60 days of close of financial year, which will be available for public. I'll tell you what is public inspection. Within 60 days of close of financial year. Now, all of you who know about companies' returns, they'll make this mistake. They'll make this mistake. 60 days counted from either 30th September or 30th October. That is why I wrote 31 December. Because this is the case with companies. In the case of LLP, it says close of financial year, 60 days. May, 30th May. Now you got to know where was the catch? Here was the catch. So Form 11 over here and Form 8 over here. I hope it's clear. Oh, Karthik acting very smart, sir. Typo error. I hope it is clear, everyone. The Form 8 and Form 11. Yes, Siddharth. Yes, Siddharth, your answers are reaching me. You were right. You were right, Siddharth. Siddharth, Himanshu. Himanshu was right. Himanshu were right. Siddharth. Hitesh, December पहुंच गया. Charu was right. Shriram was right. Pooja was right. Good. Janisha. Even I don't get it in the Labjo. Even I don't get it. What was in their mind while stating this? Because in the case of companies, you first file the audited statements, then you file the annual return. But in the case of LLP, is altogether different. That is why I took up that example and I went over there, because the people who know about the companies, they'll make this mistake. When I first ventured into the working of LLPs, I too made the same mistake practically in my practical world. That is why I take care of this specifically. Okay, fine. So what is public inspection? Public inspection is As you are a part of the public, you might be a shareholder of the company, you might not be a shareholder of the company, or you might be a prospective shareholder. Any company, whether it is listed, unlisted, a private company, whosoever files their statements, files proper returns with the MCA, some documents are available for public inspection on MCA. So whosoever wants to check what this particular company is doing, what are its borrowings, what is its revenue, I want to check. So MCA has made that provision that anybody can publicly inspect or download whatever the company has filed with MCA. It is available in public for public inspection. It is now what we say, it is available in public domain. Like the information on your websites, it is a public domain. It is available over there. Whatever information you require on typing on Google, the same way on MCA database, in MCA database, every company's records are there. Whatever MCA wants to be there in the public domain, MCA asks that it is available for public inspection. It is a facility over there. You can create an account on the MCA website, log in into it. You can check what information is available in the public domain. If you want that information, just pay a nominal fee on the MCA website, and that particular information will be available to you on the basis of forms filed by the company. Right? Okay. Form 11 is an annual return, Smita, which has to be filed within 16 days of the close of financial year. Okay. Which contains each and every data what happened in the LLP during the financial year. The management names, the management powers, the meetings, the profits made, the turnover, any unique particular event which needs to be told. There is a format available on the MCA website of Form 8 or Form 11, whatever information it wants the LLPs to give. The LLPs have to give in that form. Yes, Bandreddie, any company's reports, any company's information, some information is available free of cost. Like if you want to know about the directors or shareholders, it is available free of cost over there. The DIN, the shareholding for some companies. For some specific documents like the financial statements, you'll have to pay a fee. For MOA or AOA, you'll have to pay a fee. It is with respect to each and every document. So whatever the company is filing, whatever information the company is filing in the form of forms with the MCA, it is available to you for public inspection by paying a fees, right? Yes, yes, Smita. Yes, Nilabjo, I suppose your queries are getting exchanged with a student from another class, costing class. That is why I was wondering, why is Nilabjo asking me costing doubts? I think there is some technical error. The name is yours, but I suppose your audit queries are getting into that costing class. The costing faculty might be wondering why I'm getting an audit query. Try relogging, Nilabjo. Okay, audit of LLPs. The accounts of every LP shall be audited in accordance with Rule 24 of LLP rules, which provided any LLP whose turnover does not exceed in any financial year 40 lakh rupees or whose contribution does not exceed 20, contribution is the capital of the LLP, 25 lakh rupees is not required to get the accounts audited. There is no legal compliance if your turnover is below 40 lakhs or 40 lakhs, or your capital is below 25 or up to 25 lakhs, you're not required to get your accounts audited. But it doesn't mean that if the partners want to get the accounts audited, they can. They can. Voluntary audit is everywhere applicable. If you want to get your accounts audited, it is, you can get it audited. But even if it is a voluntary audit, the provisions, the rules given in this rule of 24 of LLP rules 2009 of carrying out the audit will still apply. Even if it is not a legal audit, like required under the statute, it is a voluntary audit. Still, the auditor has to carry out the audit following Rule 24 of LLP rules. Okay? Right? Let's move ahead. Rules regarding accounts audit and returns. The registrar has the power to obtain such information which he may consider necessary for the purpose of carrying out the provisions of the Act. He can ask for information from any designated partner or employee of the LLP. This information can be asked by post as well, in writing as well, or he would also have the power to summon. Summon means call for information. Ask them to be present in front of him. That is summon. Any designated partner or employee of an LLP before him, that means they have to be physically present before him to answer his questions for any such purpose, in case the information has not been furnished to him or in case the registrar is not satisfied with the information furnished. So he'll first ask for information. If the information is not furnished or the information furnished is not up to the mark, he is not satisfied, he may also summon any of them to be present before him to answer his questions. Now, what are the documents available for public inspection? Now come see public inspection. The fees for such inspection of an LP is rupees 50. And if you want a certified copy of any extract or document, that would be rupees 5 per page. If you want to download it, a certified copy per page will cost you rupees 5. You can also ask for it and you can get a certified copy. It could be sent to you by post as well. What is the document? What are documents available? Incorporation document, the LLP agreement, names of partners and if any changes, statement of account and solvency, annual return. रह का गया Hiral total Hiral default. It has been provided that in case LLPs file relevant documents after the due dates with additional fees up to 300 days, no action for prosecution will be taken against them. If the LLP gets late, the designated partners, they file the forms after the due dates, May and November due date, October due date. So up to a delay of 300 days, they can file their forms by paying additional fee, late fee or a penalty, whatever it be, late fee. No action for prosecution will be taken against them. But if the delay is 300 or more, so up to 299 days, once the 300th day rises, the sun rises on the 300th day, and after that, they'll file the fee form, they'll have to pay normal fee, they'll have to pay the additional late fee as well, and now they are also liable to be prosecuted. What is prosecution? Do people know what is prosecution? And what is compounding of offenses? Okay, tell me, what is prosecution and what is compounding of offenses? Do people know about these terms? We have to clear these terms as well. What is prosecution and what is compounding of offenses? Come on, tell me. Okay, Himanshu says proceeding in courts, sued, legal proceedings. Okay, okay, okay. So, prosecution means that a case would be filed against you and you'll be produced in the court of law. That is prosecution. Legal proceedings would be initiated against you. If the delay is 300 or more than 300 days for the default of filing returns with MCA. Compounding of offenses basically means where the person at default applies for compounding of his offense, whether the offense is compendable or not, that is a separate matter. That I plead guilty, that I have made this mistake. Please, he asks for forgiveness by paying some fine or penalty. It's basically a fine then, not a penalty. It's basically a fine then. That is basically compounding of offenses, where you plead guilty and you request or you apologize and request for compounding of the offense. Yes, the compounding fee. The offense can be waived by paying a compounding fee. No, 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 Smita. No, 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 no. Settlement by both the parties in a matter is compounding. It could be one of the inferences, Smita, but it is doesn't mean that is this compounding. No. Okay, so 5 minutes and then we'll take a break. Appointment of auditor. The auditor may be appointed by the designated partners of the LLP. So the designated partners have to appoint the auditors of the LLP at any time for the first financial year, but before the end of the first financial year. So if I have started the LLP, I have created the LLP today, 30th September, sorry, it's 21st September 2022. So the financial year is 22-23. It ends on 31st March 23. So for the first year, the designated partners can appoint the auditors of LLP anytime during the financial year, but they have to be appointed by 31st March. Now for the next year, 23-24, at least 30 days prior to the end of each financial year by 1st March. So in first financial year by 31st March, and in other cases, at least 30 days prior to the end of each financial year. Designated partners will fill the casual vacancy or casual vacancy caused by the removal of auditors. I hope you understand that I'm assuming you understand the meaning of casual vacancy. However, the partners may appoint the auditors if the designated partners have failed to appoint them. If the designated partners fail to appoint the auditors, in that case, the partners may appoint the auditors of the LLP. Here it is written. It is written, never oral. It is always written. Once you get into court, everything is written. Each and every word is written. Okay, what is the advantage or purpose or need of audit as per partnership? Detection of errors, dispute, reliability, better compliance and management. In the case of reconstitution, admission, debt retirement, almost the same as partnership. Almost the same. Auditor's duty regarding audit of LLP, almost the same as partnership. They should read the LLP deed, LLP agreement, sorry, minutes book, what should be contained in the LLP agreement, nature of business, amount of capital contributed, interest, duration of LLP, drawings allowed, salaries, commission, etc. payable to partners, borrowing powers of LLP, rights and duties of partners, method of settlement of accounts between partners, any loans advanced, profit sharing ratio. And in his audit report, what does the auditor need to mention? Whether the records of the firm appear to be correct and reliable, whether he was able to obtain all information and explanation necessary for his work, whether any restriction was imposed upon him during the audit. These three are the main reportings which the auditor should mention in his audit report. Yes, Karthik, within the same time limit. Within the same time limit, if the designated partners are not able to appoint the auditors, then the partners should step in and they should appoint the auditors. I'll come to that, Shreya. I'll come to that. Your question is good, but it is kind of an advanced question. I'll come to that. I hope LLP is clear. Any doubts with respect to LLP? Any doubts you may ask? Otherwise, we'll take a break, and after break, we'll go for party. And you people would help me in that party. Here they wanted correct and reliable. That is why they have not written true and fair. The law wants that the auditor has to report correct and reliable. Okay, so let us take a break for 10 minutes. You should be here by 7:50 and let us see how well we all enjoy during our after break party. Okay, so whatever the time allows us, we'll be going to three different places. We'll be going to three different places and it is upon you. You people would be telling me what do I have to see. I'll just be relaxing and you people will tell me, sir, this is good, this is not good, what should I do, what should I not do? Upon you people. The party is upon you people. Okay? Okay, Hiral, I'll come to that. I'll come to that. Break for 10 minutes and we'll meet again. So are we back, everyone? Hitesh is back. What about others? What did you write, Karthik? Everyone is relating to this. Okay, okay, okay. Oh, wow. Nice. So, Karthik has written something for everyone and he wants me to share it with you. Okay, okay. This is written. I've wrote something and maybe fellow friends may relate with it too. So, you tell me whether you relate with Karthik or not. Karthik says, मुझे अगले महीने की तारीखें डराती है. कैलेंडर पर अंक जो दायरे में है, गुजरता हूं जब तब भी नजर पड़ जाती है. मेरे हालात जो भी आईने में है, ठहर कर देखता हूं जब तब रूह कांप जाती है. एक गहरे रंग का पर्दा जिसका कोई रंग नहीं, परछाई उसकी आंखों पर छा जाती है. मैं क्या करूं, मुझे अगले महीने की तारीखें डराती है. माय गॉड कार्तिक, आई एम सो स्केयर्ड ऑफ द एग्जाम्स फॉर नवंबर. You shouldn't be. Well, you have written so well. Your writing skills are really commendable, Karthik. Quite powerful a writer you are. But I should tell you that the context. Don't be scared of the exams. Face them with all your gut and courage. You'll be able to through everyone. So, are you people relating to what Karthik has written? What is his present state of mind? Himanshu says relatable. Sarthak says, wow, wow, wow. Bandreddy says, translate into English. Okay, let Bandreddy, I'll just give you the crux that Karthik says the dates for the next month are scary. And whenever he passes through in front of the mirror, he gets scared on his condition. And there is this, there is this dark colored veil. I don't know what to say for the. He's scared of exams, basically. Okay, okay. Everybody relates to you, Karthik, and there is no need to be scared, Charu. No need to be scared. Come on, read well, understand well, revise well, give proper time. डर के आगे जीत है. You need to, you understand what you need to have. Okay, 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 fine. I'll come to that, Hiral. Hiral, it is something which is, I need to understand the context in which you are asking this. Shreya says infinitely relatable. Himanshu is very happy that October has 31 days. So it's getting 1 day extra. Hiral, you need to tell me in what context are you asking this mandatory insurance, non-mandatory insurance? Smita, there is no specific powers with designated partners. There is, they have been designated for the purpose of communication with the government or anybody else. Designated partners basically carried the DPIN. They had to get the DPIN to be mentioned on every form, every official document of the LLP. Okay? They are the front runners in every kind of such work. Very good, Sriram. Very good. Sriram says, better late than never. It is acceptable to fail in the race, but it is not acceptable to avoid participating in the race. Good. See, people, a bit of anxiety, a bit of stress, a bit of nervousness is always, will always act as a catalyst. Okay? Whatever you call it anxiety, you call it stress, you call it nervousness, you call it that you are scared. A bit of it will always act as a catalyst. But too much of it will hamper your studies, your coverage of the syllabus and everything. It is completely fine. I always tell students, मैं हमेशा सबको एक बात बोलता हूँ, even not in the student life, even if I get to have to do some work which requires a lot of time, but I have to complete it in a shorter time, right? So I just tell them that many fights, many historical wars were fought through ages for many days. But you remember, if you know, the war of Mahabharata, that was fought over 18 days. If you start reading about it, it takes a lot of days to get to understand what happened, what didn't happen. But the war took place for 18 days. I told myself this when I was to appear for my CA finals, and I was not well prepared. I wasn't well prepared. I had to appear for my CA finals, and I told myself, I still remember this was a month of October, and it was a month of festivals and all that stuff. And I was like, I'm not able to feel that happiness or enjoy the festivals and something because I'm into studies. My preparations were not well, but still, whenever I used to get nervous, I always tell me, महाभारत 18 दिन में हो सकती है, तो मैं ये सिलेबस, ये एग्जाम्स की तैयारी बड़े अच्छे से, with all my and courage, with all my hard work, whatever best I can give, whatever best I can give, doing justice to my preparations, doing justice to myself, no cheating, I'll give my best. That is what I told myself, and that is what you need to tell yourself. Whatever days you are having with you, just give your best. Don't overexert, but don't get lazy as well. Give your, if not 110, at least 101%. That extra 1% will take you far. Okay? So don't be nervous and don't be scared. Okay, Smita is fine. Hiral, I'll come to your doubt. I'm not able to get it. Your doubt. I'll come to you after the session. To your doubt. Okay. I hope so, Siddharth. I wish so. Okay, fine. चलिए चलें for the party. The party is, it's a virtual party, but this is the venue. Become a chartered accountant and then we'll party. Okay, let me see this. Where do I have to take you for the party? Uh, okay, okay. Fine. So it's dinner time. Let's go to a hotel. Anytime, guys. People, anytime. Anytime. My promotion mode is always in on the on mode. So we are going to a hotel, right? What does this want? Okay. I'm on a vacation with my friends. Please bear with my drawing skills on this computer. Okay. Okay. Done. Shriram Karthik said that I wrote that for everyone so that everyone, we all are in the same boat. And Shriram says that everyone has their own reason to be scared, afraid, worried, but let us try to cross those stuff to the maximum extent with courage. So let us face whatever comes together as life is uncertain, do our duty and accept the outcome as a learning for furtherance of our life. Very good. Rightly said, Shriram. Obviously, Karthik, you'll not have any other option. So suppose we have went for vacation, okay, and this is ABC Hotels Private Limited or whatever it be, ABC Group of Hotels. So you have to tell me everything, right? You have to tell me you are entering at the hotel, okay? So what do you notice the first? What do you notice? Tell me. What do you notice at the first sight when you enter a hotel? Okay, it is a five-star hotel. Somebody asked me about the stars. So it is a five-star hotel because I have to include each and everything. So it is a five-star hotel. Very good. Very good. Hira, you went a bit far. Siddharth, Himanshu, very good. Karthik Banreddy, the second step you went to, the first step Siddharth and Himanshu told me. The security guard who is entering the hotel, the security guard in the at the time during the times of COVID, help the spray the sanitizer on your hands and everything. So security, everybody is with yes, Smita, scrutiny. अरे हिरल इतनी आगे चारों good security guard. So security guard, security arrangements, under what head do they fall? internal control. Am I right? Am I right? Internal control. So security is basically a part of internal control. Now I move to the reception, as everybody else has said. Reception. The front office desk or the reception. Now, what would be my work over here? If I have made the booking online on some websites, could be the website of the hotel itself, ABC Hotel, or some other application, any kind of application, right? So I'll show my booking voucher. Or if I have to make a booking on the spot I'll inquire about the room rent, the category of rooms available, the room rent, the category of rooms available. I'm right? So this is the income part of the hotel. Room rent rates. Room categories. Basic room, standard room, deluxe room, suite. What kind of room category it is. What are the options available with breakfast, without breakfast, additional meals, lunch, dinner, everything. Okay. If I've already made the booking online, what is the agreement of the hotel with these intermediaries? For example, Goa, Bibo, Make My Trip. What is the agreement of the hotel with these intermediaries? I've booked the hotel from auditors. I'm an auditor and I'm observing each and every segment from the point of view of audit. So this agreement would be on commission basis. So commission is an expense for the hotel to be given to these online intermediaries. So we have covered one expense and one kind of income. Now they have given me the room key. Room key again, a part of internal controls, because my room key will let me access the various areas of the hotel through the elevator, which floors I can access and which floors I cannot. If I have been given the lounge facilities, if I have been given the spa facilities, or if I have been given them complimentary or I have purchased it, only then I'll be given a room key which will have access to those floors. Otherwise, the elevator system will not accept my card, key room card. I'll not be able to access those floors. So with the room key and all the luggage, what happens? A person escorts me to my room. A person escorts me to my room. So while going there, I'll have a word with the person. So there would be one thing in my mind relating to audit: salaries, wages, casual labor, number of staff employed, front desk, casual labor, servers, who all on salary, who on wages. I'll make the bifurcation. Again, one of the expense covered. the employee payment benefits, gratuity, retirement benefits. What specific privileges, perquisites do the managers enjoy? This is all what will I be requiring to check on my audit? Smart card, exactly, Siddharth. Now I've entered my room. Okay. When I was asking for the room rent, I would have asked for the number of rooms as well. Now I've entered the room. While entering the room, first thing which I will check is the snacks given free of cost, the interior, and the toiletries in the bathroom or the washroom. Whether everything is up to the mark. So what part is this? What is chargeable? What is available complimentary? This comes under inventories. Whether petty items, small items, or whatever it is. This is the inventories they maintain. Whether chargeable or given complimentary. Am I right? Now I've checked into my room. I've seen everything. The room is good, everything. Now, after taking some rest, I go down and I go to the restaurant for my meal. This is my restaurant. So when I reach the restaurant, the manager at the front desk asked for my room number. Again, internal controls. One part of internal controls as well over here. Who is escorting me? Is he or she the eligible person who has to escort me to my room? This is also internal control. They are taking care of my luggage and everything. He asks my room number and he escorts me to a table. Now, what do I see in the restaurant? In the restaurant, I check the menu card. The rates of the items. As an auditor, as a customer, I cannot ask for the justification of the rates. But as an auditor, I can always ask for the margins being maintained in the restaurant. What special discounts are given? Any special passes or any cards, corporate cards have been given? Any discounts available to the employees of the hotel? And what would I also check? The utensils. It could be silverware as well. Crockery. As an auditor, I can ask for this as well. Fine. The cost of raw materials. I can visit the kitchen. As an auditor, I can visit the kitchen as well to check for the raw materials. The vendor contracts, from where are the potatoes being purchased? Is it a free market price or is it an adjusted price? Are the raw materials being purchased at an arm's length price if purchased from related parties? I'll check that as well. What would I check? I'll check KOTs, kitchen order tickets. So when you order for something, like you visit a restaurant, you order something, The front desk officer gives you a slip. You hand over that slip to another counter and take your meal. So the kitchen order slips should match with the invoices. I'll check them on sampling basis. I'll take some kitchen order slips from various counters and I'll match them with the invoices issued against them. Do they match with each other? Right? Now I have had my lunch. I come out of the restaurant. And now I want to sit somewhere in the hotel to relax. I go to the hotel lobby. I'm sitting over there. Now I'll have a look at the furniture. What is furniture? Assets of the hotel. Now my point of assets would be covered over here. The furniture, the interiors, what falls in the assets. Right? While sitting in the lobby, what do I see? I see that there are some specific counters in the hotel. This counter for travel arrangements. Here is a bookshop. Fine. Now, this is a big area and this is a banquet hall. The banquet hall is a source of revenue. It is a source of revenue for bookings, functions, corporate functions, marriages, other family functions. So I'll have to check how many kinds of halls are there in the hotel. How are the bookings made and what is the price charge? Any discounts in this booking? Because giving a banquet hall on rent for a time period is a service. And if you club food with it, it is a composite service. So what are the various kinds of types of services available? There is a bookshop, whether it is owned by the hotel or given on rent. If given on rent, what does the rent agreement say? Because now the hotel will have another indirect income of rent, or it is a direct income, not indirect. You have given a shop on rent, an area of your hotel on rent. There is this travel desk. Whether this travel desk has been outsourced to an external company or it belongs to the hotel. If it has been outsourced, there would be some rent or commission-based sharing arrangement on the bookings made by these tour and travel companies. If it is owned by them, then they will be having a fleet of cars. Cars would be the hotel's asset to pick the hotel guests, to drop them off the hotel guests, to take them on the city rides. The cars are the fixed assets, the building, everything. The fixed assets covered. Okay. Anything which you feel I have left. Suppose I check into the hotel at night. So there is a concept of night auditor in the case of hotels. I'll come to it. There is always a certain doubt when you check in at night, duties change, shifts change. Who takes care of the bookings at night? There is a booking for 31st March night. So would you book this revenue in the current year or in the next financial year? Or on a pro rata basis? So there is this concept of night auditor in the case of hotels as well. Okay. So how was the hotel? Should you do cover it theoretically as well? Now you will understand it theoretically in a much less time. The first part is internal controls in the hotel. Pilfering means छोटी छोटी amount में चोरी, petty thefts. One of the greatest problems in any hotel, pilfering होगी किसकी? The inventory, toiletries, snacks, the hotel, what would it be? The towels, the mats. It could be some guest, it could be the hotel employees. Anybody can pilfer with the inventory of the hotel. And therefore, the importance of internal control cannot be undermined. It is the responsibility of the management to introduce controls which will minimize the leakage. Leakage is revenue leakage as far as possible. The manager's friend is coming from another city and he says, "Koi baat nahi, come to my hotel, I'll give you a room." This is fine to some extent as well as it is covered in his perquisites. But it should not be like this that, okay, come, I'll give you a room, stay over here, and the room rate is 5,000 for one day, and okay, give me only 2,500, and nobody knows about it. This is what the beauty of internal controls should be. Evidence of their success is provided by now how will you check it? Preparation of regular or weekly trading accounts for each sales point. What could be the each sales point? Booking of banquet hall, booking of rooms, food in the restaurant. If it is a bookshop, the travel desk belongs to the hotel, everything is a sales point. They might not provide the cab service complimentary. They might charge for it. Picking from the airport, railway station, dropping you off at the airport or railway station. They might charge for it. They might give it to you complimentary. And a detailed scrutiny of the resulting profit percentages. If there are any deviations being reported, whether profits are going up or going down, whatever be the deviations, the auditor has to scrutinize it. The auditor should obtain these regular or periodic trading accounts for the period under review, examine them and obtain explanations for any apparent means deviations which can be seen, which are obviously there. If the internal control in a hotel is weak or perhaps breaks down, this is a very serious problem. The risk is high. The risk is high. Internal controls are weak. The risk is high. Auditor's substantial procedures increase. The nature, timing, and extent of his procedures will increase. As a result, the scope of his audit test will necessarily be increased. And in the event of a material margin discrepancy being unexplained, and if the hotel staff, the people maintaining the accounts, they are unable to explain about the variances, he will have to consider qualifying his audit report. Further, the auditor should also, auditor, chartered accountant, he is well versed with the knowledge of taxes, and he should satisfy himself with all the taxes collected from occupants, whether on food or on room rent. And they have been further remitted to the proper authorities. Returns are being filed in time, GST, on room rent, food. They are being remitted. They are being paid to the authorities in time. The returns are being filed in time. This was with respect to Karthik. Cash receipts are something which is quite difficult to manage, but only surprise checks and by the hotel management or the auditors can contain this, right? If there are some surprise checks and all, or registers are checked or compared with the CCTV recordings, this is the only thing. Otherwise, it is quite infeasible to account for the cash receipts. You'll have to believe on the invoices. Whatever be the cash receipts, whether they have been properly accounted for or not, check them with whether they correspond with the invoices or not. Room sales. The charge for room sales is normally posted to guest bills by the receptionist. When the front desk officers outside the restaurant asked me for my room number, it was for feeding that, punching that into my details, my temporary account maintained with them for the period of my stay, that this guest has checked into the restaurant, and whatever be the bill, the server inside the restaurant will ask for my room number. And they'll ask, sir, whether you want to pay on the spot or you want it to be charged to your total invoice. So the charge for room sales is normally posted to guest bills by the receptionist, front office, or in the case of large hotels, by the night auditor. The night auditor is the person who is on duty at night in the hotel. He checks who is ordering what, the room services. If I order for room service dinner in the room, in large hotels, there is this concept of night auditor who checks all this, who has ordered what, whether it has been properly punched into the system or not. Some hotels provide you 24 hours meal facility. At 2 a.m. in the morning, I want to have tea. I want to have juice. Although it is there in the snacks tray, complimentaries, or I want to have a sandwich. I've just checked into at 1 in the night in my room and want to have a sandwich. I'm hungry. I'll order room service. So it is a night auditor at duty will check who is ordering what and whether it is being properly punched in the system or not. The source of these entries is the guest register. An audit test should be carried out to ensure that correct number of guests are charged for the correct period. Matching concept. Any difference between the charged rates used on the guest bill and the standard room rate shall be investigated to ensure that they have been properly authorized. The standard room rate was 5,000. The guest was charged 4,000. Was there a discount coupon being used? Was a perquisite by the employee being used? Why was a 5,000 per day room given on 4,000? What is the reason? And it should be explained to the auditor. The discount should be properly authorized. In many hotels, the housekeeper prepares a daily report of the rooms which were occupied the previous night and the number of beds kept in each room. Extra beds provided in rooms on sharing basis. This report tends not to be permanently retained, and the auditor should ensure that a sufficient number of reports are available for him to test both with the guest register and with the individual guest bill. So these reports which are prepared by the housekeeper, they are not retained for permanent basis, but it should be available in such a number that the auditor could check the previous 10 or 15 days reports and compare them with the guest occupancy, room occupancy. If it is a twin bed room and 3 people were there in the room, Was an extra bed provided in the room and has it been properly charged in the bill? Ensure compliance with the provisions of FEMA and RBI if foreign guests arrive in your room or they pay in foreign currency. AS11, whether proper conversion rate has been used or not. Special emphasis to be laid on receipts through credit cards that there are no failures. The auditor should ensure the proper valuation of occupancy in progress as at the balance sheet date is made and included in the accounts. I checked into a hotel on 31st March and I checked out on 2nd of April. So my occupancy is in progress at the balance sheet date. What is the policy of the hotel to deal with such occupancy? Pro rata, previous year, next year, when I check in, when I check out, or on a pro rata basis? Hitesh, sir, those which are outsourced and rented by the hotel, to what extent the auditor check them? Auditor will check the agreement with those particular outsourced agents. What is the revenue sharing arrangement with them? That is it. And some of the invoices, they will check the payment of taxes, everything. The auditor who is conducting audit in restaurant, they would be different from night auditor, or it should be same. Are Hitesh, it is not the auditor, not me. It is the person is a staff of the hotel, employee of the hotel, the night auditor. Night auditor is the staff of the hotel, not me. I'm not going to audit the hotel at night. I'm not going to stay over there at night and roaming over here in the hotel. Idhar se udhar. Bhi kya ho raha, kya nahi ho raha. No. The night auditor is the staff of the hotel, employee of the hotel. It is a category. It is just a system, a function. Night auditing. Yes, as Charu said, a person for supervision at night. Okay, here I hope occupancy in progress is clear. Okay, inventories, the cookies, the tea, the coffee, the mugs, the toiletries in the bathroom, washroom, the towels, everything. So the inventories in any hotel are both readily portable and saleable, particularly the food and beverage inventories. So all movements and transfers of such inventories should be properly documented to enable control to be exercised over each individual store areas and sales point. When you visit any hotel or you get the opportunity during a vacation, you see the housekeeper always has a, I would say, a report with them or her. Before you check out, they'll call the housekeeper on your floor and that they have checked out. Please clean their room and see if they have used any snacks that should be chargeable. Or if you're staying for 2 days, the person from the housekeeping staff would come. He'll check for the refilling of the bar or the snacks tray. If you require the complimentary as well as the chargeable, he'll get your signatures on the sheet, on the invoice. Sir, there were 5 packets of chips over here and there are only 3. Have you consumed the 2? I'll say, yes, I've consumed the 2. Okay, sir, please sign over here and I'll refill it. So that will be charged to my room rent. It happened with me during one of my stays that they had a menu. They had a list over there, not menu, a list over there and their snacks tray along with this snacks tray. That this is what is kept in the bar. That snacks and everything, the beverages. And when I got through it and I could see there was written that 3 packets of chips are there. But when I checked, I had not consumed anything. There were only 2. So I called upon the housekeeper at the same time that, see, please, it is written 3 and there are only 2. I've just checked in. Please take care of this. Right? So documentation is really important. Once when I order from my room, they'll come with an invoice, so whether you want to pay right away or you are just signing it, and we'll submit it to the front desk. Areas where large quantities of inventory are held should be kept locked. The inventory room. You'll see there are some areas where the guests are not allowed entry, especially the inventory room, the bed sheets, the inventories of the toiletries, the snacks, everything. The key being retained by the departmental manager, the manager of that particular department in the hotel. The key should be released only to the trusted personnel. An unauthorized person should not be permitted in the store areas except under constant supervision. For example, a person from the auditing team. An authorized person will accompany you to that room to count the inventory. Any movement of goods in or out of the stores should be checked. Many hotels use specialized professional valuers to take and value the inventories on a continuous basis throughout the year. If such a valuation is there, I'll use this valuation for checking the balance sheet inventory figure. I'll place my reliance on this valuation at year end. And such valuers are independent of the client. I should satisfy myself that what are the rates, whether they are reasonable or not, whether the valuation is reasonable with respect to the inventories or not. And the auditor can also consider attending, not doing himself, attending the physical inventory taking. A person from the hotel staff, authorized person, will carry out the inventory taking. The auditor would only attend and observe and check the calculations. Fixed assets, I suppose it is completely fine. Quasi-fixed assets, such as some hotels, silver and cutlery, they take them as assets, or on inventory basis, it is up to their wish. And we have to check the policy of the hotel, whether they consider silver and cutlery as their inventories or as quasi-fixed assets. Right? And we should consider what policy hotel is following and whether accounting is being done according to that or not. Should check whether repairs and minor renovation are not capitalized. They are being treated as revenue, and major alterations and additions should be capitalized under the building head. A new swimming pool has been constructed. A new car has been purchased. A bar has been set up in the restaurant area. They are major alterations and additions. I have to physically check the cash and obtain BRS. Restaurant and banquet halls, proper records are maintained for booking of banquet hall and other premises. For special parties, and tariff structure is followed. For the restaurant bills, I have to check the KOTs, kitchen order tickets, and check them with the invoices. Casual labor and staff expenses. So the person escorting me to my room, the person getting my luggage to my room. So the hotel trade operates to a very large extent on casual labor. The records maintained for their wage payments are frequently inadequate because they are casual. The auditor should ensure that defalcation on this account does not take place by recording fictitious labor payments. You had only 10 labor people on that day, casual labor persons employed on that day, and you are debiting expense for 20 people. This can be checked on a surprise basis only. You have to check their attendance records and then check them with wage payment registers. A, B, C, D paid, whether they have their entries in the attendance register or not. Wages have been paid for 20 people on that day, and in the attendance register, the record is there only for 15 people. ये बाकी के 5 कहां से आए, कहां गए? A few salary payments could be test checked with entries in the cash book and comparison be made that of previous periods using analytical procedures. Quite simple. Travel agents and shops. For leisures coming through travel agent or booking agencies, bills are usually made on the travel agents or booking agencies. The auditor should ensure money recovered from travel agents or booking agencies as per the terms of credit allowed. Because when I'm making a payment on the online platform, the money is going to the online, the travel agent or the booking agency. So what is the credit period given to them to remit the money further to hotel debit after debiting their commission? They have to remit the money to the hotel. Is it being received as per the policy? Commission, if any, paid to travel agents or booking agents should be checked by reference to the agreement, the time, the payment, the rate of commission. In case spaces have been let out to such person, the travel agents or shops let out to different kinds of organizations, like the bookshop in my case, the agreement entered into them should be checked, and it should be ensured that the collections received from them under such agreement are properly accounted for. Right? So this was hotel. You have successfully conducted the audit of ABC hotels. Shriram, in that case, if TDS has been deducted, the invoice would late. If I have raised the rent for, suppose, 5 lakhs during the year, you say 6 lakhs, 50,000 per month. So 50,000 per month, 6 lakhs, 10% TDS would be deducted on the rent. It is completely fine every month. Yes, Sriram, completely fine. Yes, Hiral, right. Occupancy in progress means on 31st March, when the year is ending, there is still some occupancy in the hotel, and we have to check for what is the hotel's policy to account for that occupancy's rent. That is occupancy in progress. Hanji, are you still there in the hotel, or you have come out of it? Still enjoying the hotel? I took you to the hotel just to make you understand what practically you might have also experienced. But when you all went together, I took you to various areas in a sequential manner so that you could understand what all points you have to see. Now, from this day onwards, while visiting any hotel, you will not be the same. I have never been the same. I've myself never been the same. Whenever I visit a hotel. So now you will also never be the same. Once you visit a hotel, you will recollect this day and will start auditing right away whether you have got the auditing contract or not. As a customer, you will start auditing. Okay. Siddharth, you have to tell them what risks did you notice and how could it lead to material misstatement. Charu, casual labor means labor not on roll, not on labor employed on temporary basis. That is casual labor, Charu. They don't have any contract with the hotel. They are being paid on some temporary basis, not the permanent labor or staff of the hotel. And think of Hiral. Hiral, mutual interest means, for example, I am a partner in a partnership firm, right? And I have my own business as well. Okay. I'm just giving you an example. There could be other examples as well. So there is this particular vendor of the firm, I'll say client of the firm. For example, it is FMCG firm, partnership firm, who is selling cosmetics to that particular customer. And I'm also dealing in cosmetics as in my proprietorship firm, as well as I'm a partner in the partnership firm. So what do? I start soliciting that customer to purchase from my firm, my proprietorship firm, individual basis, rather than purchasing it from the partnership. It could be vice versa also. So both the partners and the firm have to take care of their mutual interest, that one's profit should not become the loss of others. The one of the partners should not flourish at the cost of the partnership's business, or the partnership should not flourish at the cost of the one of the partners' business. This is just an example of mutual interest. They'll have to take care of each other's mutual interest in the partnership firm as well. Yes, Sriram, contract labor or daily basis, not coolie. There is no concept of coolie in the case of an hotel. Usually casual labor, like for example, you have a party in the banquet hall, you have a contractor in hand, a labor contractor in hand, a particular recruitment agency. You have contract with the recruitment agency that will be requiring 50 people today, because we have a wedding in our hotel lawn, and we'll be requiring 50 people. And we want you to provide us with those 50 people who could serve in the during the party. That is casual labor. Or you could, the hotel could arrange it on themselves, the management or the officer, the employees of the hotel, the manager in charge. Huh? Siddharth, no, I took up the case of hotel because it was an interesting one. Now club तुम लोग घुमा के लाओगे मुझे, club and cinema halls. We'll take each such topic during our session. I took up the case of hotel today. I'll take up the case of club in the next session and cinema hall in the last session. But today we devoted much time to the hotel. We'll not be devoting that much time to club and cinema hall. We'll be covering it in just 10 to 15 minutes. The club, cinema hall, right? So each venue reserved for each session. We went to the hotel today. We'll go to the club in the next session. And then finally, we'll go to the cinema hall and conclude our chapter as well as batch number 5. So no night out today, Siddharth. Stay at home and study. We'll go to in the next session. Any more doubts, please? You can come up with any more doubts if you have. We'll proceed with some complex topics in the next session. Either I'll be taking up government audit or I'll be taking up cooperative societies. There are two lengthy topics in this chapter. One is government audit and the other is cooperative societies. So one I'll be taking up in the next session, and the second I'll be taking up in the third session, last session, along with the other smaller topics. What is Smita writing? Just let me check. I'm not able to understand, Smita. What are you writing? Definitely in Elabjo. Definitely. Fiori assets. Can you give me the context? Have you read it in the read it in the module? Read it in the module? The Fiori assets. I'll note it down. I'll get through it. What are you asking? Fiori assets. I'll just note it down. Fiori assets. I'm not able to get it. I'll tell you about it in the next class. Anything else, people? Or should we conclude? Should we wind up? It's just its first line. It is quasi-fixed assets. Okay, just a second. From this slide, Shaktivelan, am I on the right slide, Shaktivelan? Smart, Karthik. I'll go through it, Smita, and I'll clear it in your next class. I'll go through it. I'm not able to find it where I'm reading it. It might be there in the module. I'll check for it. Yes, Shaktivelan, which one? Can you please tell me the slide number? I'm currently on slide number 83. Which slide are you asking for, Shaktivelan? Might be. That is why I told her to I'll go through it and tell her. Shaktivelan, are you there? Four and five. Okay. Yes, yes. Yes, Shaktivelan, what do you want to ask me? You want to ask me anything, Shaktivelan? Or should I wind up? Okay, Karthik. Okay, I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it. I'll tell everyone in the next. I'll I'll discuss it with everyone in the next session, starting. Okay, you want to go through it? Okay. No issues, Smita. I'll go through the module as well, study mat, and I'll check for it whether it is a mistake or it is a word over there. Fine. Okay, everyone. Take care. Good night. Meet you a day after tomorrow on Friday, 23rd. I've written your doubts, Shreya. I'll come up with it during the next session. Right? I'll have to make a ground for that for everyone else. I hope that's fine. Smita's doubt and Shreya's doubt. I'll take that up in the next session. Take care, everyone. Good night. Bye bye. अशोक जी. हाँ जी. ओके जी.